Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, from ignorance to the knowledge, and from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. My dear devotees, so discussing, we were discussing in the previous class regarding different type of samadhis. There's a beautiful Sanskrit language is a beautiful language. Samadhi is what? Highest form of contemplation. And also, in a slang way, or from the fun point of view, samadhi is also used in the sense of sleep. Oh, that person is in samadhi. Means someone is probably sitting in a class. I hope whoever is listening to my lecture, no one is dozing off here. So if you sit for a lecture or in a class and if you're dozing off, then people funnily they say that, oh, he's in samadhi. So anyhow, just saying this a small joke sort of. Here samadhi is what? It is a highest form of meditation, highest form of contemplation. So what type of contemplation the author is trying to speak here? The author is trying to describe here is the Vedantic contemplation. There are devotional contemplation. Then from Patanjali Yoga, there is a different type of contemplation there. And here, again, in the Buddhism, there is a different type of contemplation, vipassana, Zen, meditation, all these things. Here, as a part of Advaita Vedanta, the non dualistic philosophy, it is a Vedantic contemplation. So it is contemplation on the self, or on the sakshi, or on the witness. So, 6 type of contemplation techniques has been discussed. What are the 6 types we have seen in the previous class? Now, the first type of contemplation, that is Antardrishya Anuvidya Savikalpa Samadhi. So don't bother about Sanskrit, some big words if you don't understand. So it is basically a contemplation on thought, concentration or contemplation on thoughts. So what is that type of contemplation or what is that type of samadhi, we shall see. So here basically the samadhi or contemplation, or sorry, concentration, which is associated with an object is described. कामद्यश्चित्तगा दृश्याः तत्साक्षित्वेन चेतनं ध्याये दृश्यानुविद्धोऽयं समाधिः सविकल्पकः. Desire, etc., centered in the mind are to be treated as cognizable objects. Meditate on consciousness as their witness. This is what Savikalpa Samadhi associated with the objects. See, first and foremost, this is a limitation of the language. Object, it is meditation or concentration on the objects. When we use this word, immediately we think, oh, okay, like maybe on a table or on a chair or on a mountain, maybe or on a flower. So the Swamiji will be asking us to concentrate our mind on particular object. Why? Because it is a concentration technique based on the objects. So that's why the author is using very clearly, is differentiating from that type of thinking, is telling that the desire and etc. should be considered as the cognizable objects. When I see a flower, a thought, flower thought comes to my mind through senses, and I recognize it as a flower. So this is external objects. So here it is called, because it is internal. So internal object is what? Internal object is thought, desire, hatred, love, whatever. All these are considered as objects here because it is a internal type of meditation here. So the author is trying to ask us, or he is asking us to shift our concentration, shift our attention from the external world to the internal world. This is the first step, which is a drastic step. I'm seeing so many things, so many objects externally, and I'm seeing so many people externally. Now, closing all that, disconnecting from all these things, you try to connect inside. Try to connect with what? Try to connect with the thoughts. So, this is the first step. Consciously disconnecting oneself with the external world or objects or people. Try to connect yourself within your mind, with your mind, that too, especially with the thoughts. Now, for example, a sunflower came in my mind. That is a thought which has got a content, sunflower. Then I saw Leafy River I had seen yesterday when I had been to city center. Then Leafy River came into my mind, a thought which has a content of Leafy River. Yesterday I had eaten burger or pizza. That came to my mind now consciously. Then pizza thought or burger thought has come in my mind now. So finally, I have shifted my attention, shifted my focus from external world to the internal world with the mind, that do with my thoughts. So this is what the example, or this is what the type of meditation we should think. That's why it is called Antardrushya Anuviddha Savikalpa Samadhi. Means thought connected consciousness meditation. Thought connected consciousness meditation. So basically, here we are trying to shift our consciousness or thoughts on our own thought, on our own thoughts. How to understand? Say, for an example, you as a person sitting in a hotel. It's a big, quite a big hotel where it can probably house 50 to 100 people. You are sitting in a corner and you are having a sip of tea, or just you are having a tea. Then so many people are coming and going. You don't know any of them. You are just observing them. And among them, just you have seen somewhere him, but you do not know who is he. You try to scratch your head to remember who is he or she. You didn't remember, then that's all. Then after some time, one of the person whom you knew, or he knew you and you know him, they came. Then he said, "Hi, how are you?" You exchanged words, you some time, and he left the hotel. And so many things are coming and going because when people come, they're ordering tea, they're ordering coffee, they're ordering breakfast, or they're ordering meals. So many objects are also coming and going because when people are coming and going. But there's a one constant thing, which is the light, which we don't observe. Because with the help of light, we are observing so many people arrival and departure, and so many things are been coming and going or whatever. So we are so much obsessed with the people and the things, we don't generally think, or we don't try to focus, or we are not aware of the light. We have taken it for granted. So now author is trying to say that, okay, people are coming and going, things are coming and going. Someone comes, so he ordered coffee, coffee was placed on his table. Someone ordered tea, tea was placed on the table. Someone ordered some other thing, burger was placed on the table. He ate it, empty plate, and after he left, the plate was removed. So many things are coming and going. Fine. But because of that light, you were able to see all of them. But you are not aware of it, or you are not thinking about it. You are unaware, basically. So similarly, a desire thought came, attraction thought came, hatred thought came. So many different objects thoughts came, and you are obsessed with that. You are conscious of it. You may not be conscious or unconscious of it, but you are the conscious. You are the awareness. Because of that, all these things are coming and going. So try to shift yourself from the thought to the awareness to the consciousness. So this is what they are trying to tell. So this is the second step. First step, trying to shift your attention from the external world to the internal world to your thought world. And the second is deliberately you be aware and deliberately encourage the thoughts, but at the same second step, and slowly you shift your attention from the thoughts to the witness. So I am witnessing the thought, burger thought. I am witnessing and I'm aware of the thought of the pizza thought or whatever. So I, the witness, is aware of the thoughts. And afterwards, you can also probably increase the thoughts of the self, thoughts of the, what do you say, God or whatever. So here, deliberate action is there, willful action is there, but at the same time, slowly you are shifting your focus. You are shifting your focus from thoughts to the witness. This is what the third step will be happening. So attention turned towards from the light to the from the objects to the light. Attention will be slowly turned from the thoughts to the witness. This is what called thought connected consciousness meditation. So when we hear, sometimes we feel, oh, what it is and all. But if you think seriously, if you think consciously, how important and how beautiful it is, we understand. You are sitting, just you are, maybe you are, whether you close eyes or open your keep your eyes open, never mind. But just a thought is coming in your mind, and you are the aware of, you are aware of it. That means you are not attached with the thought. You have separated yourself from the thought, and you are just aware, and you are observing. You are an observer, and you are observing the thought current, thought flow. What a beautiful state. Because objects are subject to come and go, thoughts are also coming and going. Whereas light does not come and go, so the awareness, the witness also doesn't come and go. Objects are continuously changing, thoughts are continuously changing, but the light is, I mean, comparatively, relatively, the light is not changing. And here, witness is not changing. Then objects have different forms, different colors, all these things. But light doesn't have any form or it doesn't have any color. So similarly, the witness doesn't have any form or any shape or any color. Then objects are subject to division. We can take one pizza and we can make four parts, and we can four people can eat. Light can be different in, can be split into parts. It cannot be. Similarly, the witness is also cannot be splitted. It cannot be divided. Then objects can be dirty. It can be contaminated. For an example, suddenly you are having a cup of tea. Suddenly a mosquito fell in the tea, and definitely you won't feel like taking the consume the coffee or tea. Then you will throw away, and you will ask the probably hotel person, if possible, try to change it, isn't it? Whereas sakshi or the witness is never contaminated. It never gets contaminated. So, by understanding the difference between the thoughts and the sakshi, just like objects and the light, so if you understand between the differentiation or difference between the thoughts and the light, I mean the witness, then you'll be able to separate yourself from the thoughts, and you'll be able to establish consciously yourself that I am the witness. I am the witness. There can be good thought, there can be bad thought, there can be holy thought, there can be unholy thought. But there is no good witness, there is no bad witness. There is no holy witness, unholy witness. There is no saint witness or wicked witness. Witness is none of them. It is above all of them, and it is above the duality. So this has to be understood. And by understanding, by differentiating I, the witness, from the thoughts, you start being observer. You take the place of observer and just you start observing the thoughts. The question may come to your mind now, what is the use of it, Swamiji? Once you start differentiate yourself from the thought and you be the witness, then what happens? The thoughts will lose its power. Because you are attaching yourself with the thoughts, that's why thoughts get power. The moment you detach yourself from the thoughts and you take the position of an observer and you start observing the thoughts, whichever comes and goes, then what happens? Then the thoughts will lose its power. Just for an example, someone came when you were taking a cup of tea in the hotel. You don't know who is he or she, so you are not bothered. So there was no reaction in your mind. But suddenly, a person who knows you, when he or she comes in the hotel, immediately you react, you respond. And suddenly, one of your close friend comes into the hotel. Immediately, you feel so happy, and you call him or her to your table, and both of you start talking. Similarly, imagine some person comes whom you hate him, or he or she hates you. Then immediately again the reaction starts. Oh, why did she come here? Why did he come here? It is nonsense, all these things. So similarly, good thoughts, bad thoughts, all whatever. So the moment when you don't associate with the thoughts, when yourself be the witness and be an observer, then the thoughts will lose its power. So that is one of the efficacy of being an observer and observe the thoughts whichever goes in your mind. Then what happens? Slowly, slowly, thoughts will lose its power and it starts getting settled or it starts getting reduced. So that is what called Antardrushya Anuvidda Savikalpa Samadhi. Why? Because thoughts themselves are insentient. They don't have any power. When the witness attaches with the thoughts, then only thoughts get power. So, first and foremost, step one is be aware that you are different from your thoughts or from your mind. The second is consciously you separate yourself from the thoughts and you start attaching yourself. Consciously feel that you are conscious. And second, that the third step is I am the witness. The witness is separate from the thoughts, fine. And the third step is I am the witness. I am the cognizer. Otherwise, witness also will become the third person, or it can be one more object. No, I am that witness. I am the cognizer of these thoughts. So this thing has to be practiced willfully, consciously. Once that is practiced, what happens? Then slowly, slowly, you will get detached from the thoughts, and thoughts will get subsided, and the restlessness of the mind is controlled, restlessness of the mind is arrested, and all the thoughts will lose its power, and it is easy for you to control. So then you start feeling that the thought should be what you say, the type of thought should be encouraged in your mind. According to the author, is that consciousness I, conscious I. I am that witness. I am that Sakshi. I am that witness. I am that Sakshi. So the I am that witness, I am that Sakshi thought should be started encouraging. Earlier, burger thought, pizza thought, or some room thought, or I had been to some picnic, that picnic thoughts were coming. Then you start slowly introducing this I am Sakshi, I am Sakshi, I am Sakshi. So all other thoughts are getting mixed up with the Sakshi thought. Slowly, slowly, when consciously you encourage the Sakshi thought and discourage other thoughts, then all other thoughts slowly gets reduced and Sakshi thoughts only started coming. Then, and also starts understanding that you are that Sakshi and you are an observer of the thoughts. Then slowly thoughts may come and go, but it will not have its any efficacy or effect on your mind, and you will be able to settle down. So that is what the Savikalpa Samadhi with the thought current. So this is the first type of meditation technique which is given by the author. Now, after thought, now the author is trying to tell, let us have a second type of internal savikalpa samadhi. Consciousness meditation, consciously meditating or concentration on the sound itself. So, what is the second type of meditation? We shall try to see. So, this is the second type of or higher kind of savikalpa samadhi with the sound. Asangaha Sachidanandaha Swaprabho Dvaitavarjitaha Asmiti Shabdavidhoyam Samadhihi Savikalpakaha. I am the existence, consciousness, bliss absolute, and I am unattached, and I am self luminous in the nature, and I am free from or above all the dualities. This is known as the other kind of Savikalpa Samadhi associated with the sound. So, the first type of meditation or contemplation or concentration was involved with the thoughts current. Now, the author is trying to explain us. Now, you start, what you say, try to meditate, concentrate on the sound. Sound means what? Like ton sound, bell sound comes. So the author is asking us to meditate on that sound, which is done in Buddhist meditations. No, here sound means it is uh, Vedantic words actually. Like for example, one of the Upanishadic statement, Asangoyam Purusha. I am that Purusha who is unattached. So, like that, Nityaha, Aham Nityaha, I am the eternal. Aham Sanatana, I am the ancient. And I am Achalaha, I am the immovable. So, these are the different explanations pertaining to the nature of the self has been given in Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads. So, on this different words with the meaning, along with the meaning, has to be meditated. For example, Asangoyam Purushaha. I am unattached. So this is my nature. This is my nature as a witness, as a consciousness. You start meditating on this sound, on this word that is asanga, and trying to meditate on the meaning of it. So this is what the second type of meditation, that is antar shabda anuvidda sankalpa samadhi. Antar means internal, shabda means sound, then savikalpa samadhi, anuvidya savikalpa samadhi means consciousness meditation, consciousness contemplation. So in the first type of meditation, thoughts were used as a medium for meditation. Here, the different words pertaining to the nature of the self, nature of the witness has been used. So slowly, we are shifting our focus from the thoughts to the different aspects, various aspects of Sakshi to meditate, which is becoming more subtle. For an example, Asangoyam Purusha. I am unattached. I am not attached to a person. I'm not attached to any person or any, what you say, property or whatever. I'm completely unattached from the whole, this world and its objects and other things. This, this one thought itself gives a tremendous confidence and tremendous happiness for us. We can see in all the life of great people's life. For example, Saint Francis of Assisi. He only created the church, particular church. Afterwards, his own disciples made him to leave the church, but he didn't bother. He left and he was very happy. He was unperturbed. Why? Because he was unattached. The same thing we can see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna lived in Dakshineshwar for a long time. Suddenly, one of his relative, Rudairam, came and said, the owner of the temple has said that both of us we should leave. Sri Ramakrishna never asked, is it so? All of a sudden, if they say, where will we go? So they should give some time for us to go. But he said, is it? Come, let us go. Just he got up and he didn't pack the things also. A small napkin was there on his thighs. He put it on his shoulder and just he said, come on. And both of them started walking. Then the temple authority or the owner came to know that there is a miscommunication. He came running and he said, sir, please pardon me. I didn't ask you to leave the temple complex. I only asked your relative Rudairam to leave the temple complex because of his wrong action. So I didn't ask you. Then also, Sri Ramakrishna said, is it? Okay then. There is a miscommunication. Ruday, it was for you, not for me, it seems. Please leave the place. He said, and he came back and he sat in the back to his room without any mental, disturbance. So this is what the nature of the or the person who is unattached, that's how the character will be. Then, if you have no attachment, no suffering. If you have no attachment, no unhappiness, no misery. So when you hear this, the word asanga or unattached, it gives a tremendous happiness, peace, and solace when we are in suffering. Then imagine you start meditating on this, and that is your nature. It gives a tremendous confidence and lot of what do you say strength to face the problems in the life. The same thing you can see in the life of Holy Mother. Holy Mother, after the demise of Sri Ramakrishna, she was unable to live in this world. She felt, why should I live in this world? Enough. Sri Ramakrishna also left mortal coil. I shall also leave. Sri Ramakrishna, and she decided many times she would like to leave the mortal coil. I mean, she would like to pass away, die, or whatever. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, no, you have got a particular mission. You should do it. You should do it. You should do it. But still, it took for her 2 years to stay back in the world. Finally, she got attached with one of her relative called Lakshmi. So she used to love her. Attached means what? She used to love her. So a small attaching factor was in for Holy Mother. That's why she was able to leave. So this is the fundamental difference between us and the Holy Mother. We are always striving to get unattached, and that's why we are suffering, we are in misery or whatever. And they're not able to attach, that's why they're not able to live in the world. So they will take some person or something as a, what do you say, upadhi, as a supporting factor, so that attaching to a particular person, particular thing, they will try to live in this body or in the physical world. So the attachment has got a tremendous power. It can make even the God to live in this mundane world or live in this physical body. So if you detach, then also it has got tremendous power which can be used in a right way to attain peace or to experience the peace. And at the same time, like, I am the eternal. When you start meditating that I am the eternal, so I'm not temporary, I'm not limited, that means neither I have a birth nor the death. The fear of death is the highest fear for all of us, as we all know that. So when I get a firm conviction that I am the birthless and I am the deathless and I am the eternal, then even if the death comes, I don't bother. For example, in the Uttarakhand, that is in the Himalayas, northern part of the India, where a lot of saints and ascetics they live. Once it so happened, tiger, it rushed into the nearby village. There one ascetic just on the bank of a river. He was sitting and he was meditating. The tiger, it came in search of food. The tiger saw this ascetic and the tiger caught this sadhu. The tiger had caught his stomach portion tightly and is taking the sadhu's body. Now sadhu came to consciousness, and because the tiger has caught with his strong jaws from his strong teeth the stomach of the sadhu, so blood is oozing out, and some places even the small intestine or whatever, few organs have come out and it is also oozing. And even at that juncture, the sadhu is saying, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am that Shiva, I am that Shiva, I am that Shiva. Here Shiva means not Lord Shiva. Shiva means I am that auspicious, means I am the self. Imagine. When we hear any tiger sound, immediately, even 100 meters or 500 meters or 1 kilometer, immediately we'll get up and we will run or we will take care and we will try to protect our life. Fine. But even the tiger has caught his stomach and small intestine, other things have come out, blood is oozing out. At any time he will die. He knows that sadhu. Even at that juncture, he is saying, he's able to say that Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. Why? Because he had got a strong conviction that I am not the body. The sadhu had a strong conviction, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the self. I am the Sakshi. According to the Drishya Viveka, seer number 3. So when you get the firm conviction, forget about experience. Even if you get a firm conviction, then you'll be able to face this type of difficulties. I think once I might have narrated this incident. I had a fortune to live with one of a senior monk by Swami Kamalananji by name. recently passed away, maybe few months before. I was serving him in Bangalore. Once already had a angiogram and he had a I mean, blood pressure and diabetic also. He had a severe cardiac pain. Then we rushed to hospital. Then for 3 days, doctors did a lot of scanning and lot of tests and all. And in the 3 days, I observed him. He was just lying down. When the doctors came and what doctors asked questions, he used to answer. And whenever we doctor said or advised that we should take to particular place for examinations or scannings, he used to come along with us in the wheelchair, and we used to get and come and just lie down, meditate, and used to meditate and used to practice, follow his routine daily automatically as much as possible. I, as a young novice, brahmacharin, I was amazed, astonished to see. There is no reaction in his face. Okay, maybe he's in his 60s, he may die, that's all fine. But even there was no mental reaction on his mind. He was as calm. Just when he was in ashrama, when he used to be in ashrama, how he was calm and jovial. Same way, jovial and he was calm even in the hospital also. 3 days I observed. Fourth, fifth day over. Then fifth day I asked him. He was kept under observation. For a week we were there. On fifth day I asked, Swamiji, if you don't mind, I would like to ask you a question. Swamiji said, yes, my dear, please go ahead. I observe for 5 days because whole day I am with you only. There is no fear, there is no anxiety, and there is no what will happen to me, such type of thoughts with you. You were so calm, just like when you were in ashrama. So similar way you are calm now also. How is it possible? Then he smiled and he said, look, with Sri Ramakrishna's grace and with my Guru's grace, at some point of time, at some point of time in my life, I had experienced, that I am different from this body. Just see, probably a minute of experience. He had an experience just for a minute that I am different from this body. I am different from this body mind complex. So that experience has given tremendous faith in me, tremendous conviction in me. So even death comes, I will embrace it with all love, with all happiness or whatever. That's why even death comes, what so? What is so? I'm not perturbed, I'm not bothered. Imagine a 1 minute of experience that I am not the body and mind, I am different from the body and mind, has made him to conquer the fear of death, which is one of the greatest fear in the world. We all know that. So that's why when we say that, when we hear such type of meditation techniques, I am the Sakshi, I am neither the body, I am nor the mind, I am neither the thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, etc., etc. What is the use? We do get such type of questions, and we should get questions. But this is what the effect of it. Once we get intellectually convinced, under the divine grace, if we can get an iota of experience, that will change our life, that will change our life attitude, and that will change our convictions, and we'll be able to face anything and everything in the life. That is the efficacy of this intellectual conviction. That is, I am the self, I am the consciousness, or Sakshi, or seer number 3. And also, you should understand that the happiness doesn't exist in the world, the happiness exists in the own self. So, whenever I see a particular thing and I feel that particular object is giving experience, means it is only reflected consciousness or reflected happiness which has been oozed out or which has been reflected by your own self, by your own Sakshi. So, when we understand all these things, then you will go beyond the dualities. For an example, now we are getting summer. And personally, I'm enjoying this summer, sunlight and summer and all. So recently, a lady who is our neighbor, she was telling, oh, I mean, temperature is increasing and we are feeling like we are getting baked. See, I'm enjoying summer, and the lady is telling that sunlight is good, but it is too, I'm feeling hot, so I'm getting baked. If 2 or 3 degrees, if it gets increased, then I feel very difficult to stay. So now, 18 or 20 degree, neither it is good nor it is bad. It is only based upon us. Because I come from 35, 40 degree region. So I'm enjoying this as a pleasant weather, and a person who has born and brought up here, she is feeling that it is too much for her to bear probably. So similarly, anything or any particular thing, it only depends on our reactions. So it is good or bad, it depends on us or giving the value, giving the reactions. So my nature itself is Ananda. Just like my nature itself is Nitya, my nature itself is Ananda. So Ananda doesn't exist in the world or in the objects. Ananda exists in myself, or that is my nature, and I am that Ananda. So this has to be meditated. I am Ananda Swarupi. And Satyam, Gnanam, Anantam, Brahma. That's what Taittiriya Upanishad says. Satyam, it is truth, absolute truth. Gnanam, absolute awareness. Anantam, I am infinite. So when we start meditating on this type of Vedantic words, slowly, slowly, we get detached from this world and objects, and we'll be able to live the peaceful life. So shifting of attention. So shifting of attention is what here? Concentration. Shifting of attention from the external world to the internal world, first step. The second step, being aware of the thoughts current, is second step. The third is shifting your thoughts to yourself, is what the third step. The first meditation technique. The second meditation technique is trying to meditate on the nature, on your own nature, which is explained in the Upanishads or in the Bhagavad Gita or any other text or the scriptural text, and trying to feel that, experience that I am that. When, as an example, I am Ananda Swarupi, I am the nature of the Ananda or bliss, means I and Ananda should not be different, should not be separate. Myself, I am the Ananda. Ananda is something here and I am here, something like this. Two things, no. I and Ananda both are one and the same. That should be the our understanding, and that should be the intellectual conviction to start with. Slowly, slowly, that should be our experience also. And now, the third type of concentration is been discussed in the next loka. Let us try to understand. Swanubhuti rasaveshat Drishya Shabda Upekshatu Nirvikalpaha Samadhihi Tathat Deepavat. So first two type of samadhi is Savikalpa Samadhi Visa, and the third type of samadhi is what? Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So here the author is trying to tell that. Probably I'll give an example, give a just simple example, explanation, and I will give going. But the Nirvikalpa Samadhi is that in which the mind becomes completely steady, like the unflickering flame of a light, kept in a place free from wind, and in which the student becomes indifferent to both objects and sounds on account of his complete absorption in the bliss of the realization of the self. Now I'll give an example and I will explain, then you'll be able to understand. I saw a person. I have seen this person, but I'm not able to recall his name. I sat and I scratched my head for 5 minutes. Who is that person? Where did I see? Who is that person? Where did I see? 10 minutes over, 15 minutes over. I tried to recollect from my memory. I couldn't. 15 minutes I tried, then I said, okay, I'm not able to recall. Somehow, sorry for that. Whatever it may be. Then I continued my other work. I continued my work. When I was continuing my work, or just I was lying on my bed, all of a sudden, maybe half an hour or 1 hour before, suddenly a thought flashes in my mind, said, oh, he's that John I saw in the car. He's that same John. 3 months before, I saw him in the car where I had been to a particular seminar or whatever. Now you see, 10 or 15 minutes I tried to remember who is this person, who is this person, who is this person. I couldn't do it. So this is what the willful thoughts, willful thinking, which happens with the conscious mind. So which in Sanskrit is called stula vrittis, gross thoughts. After thinking 10-15 minutes, it has gone deep into subconscious mind. Now I stopped thinking about that person. But in the mind, it was lingering, and slowly, slowly, after some time, from the subconscious mind, the thought was splashed out. It was ejected to the conscious mind and said, he was the John whom you met him in Kark 3 months before in a seminar. So from the subconscious mind, it got out, isn't it? That is what called sukshma rutti, subtle thoughts. Though I stopped thinking about that person, but still, I was able to collect and connect with that particular person thought called John. So similarly, here author is, trying to hint us that in this earlier two types of samadhis, based with the thoughts and based with the sound, you have consciously exercised your mind. You have consciously exercised your will with connection with the sakshi. I am the sakshi, I am the sakshi, I am the sakshi. And so much so that you have spent your time in meditating or in contemplation on sakshi, on the witness. So now it has become so obvious, so natural for you. Even if you stop in your subconscious mind as an underlying current, that the what do you say, sakshi vritti, the thought on the sakshi will be going on. Again, at the fun side, probably I can give an example. I will always say this joke. If someone comes with a problem that Swami, I had a toothache, I've got a dental problem and a toothache, I said, oh, so you have got a transcendental meditation. So like that, I have got a toothache, I had a toothache and I went to doctor, I got checked and some medicines have been given, I've taken, but still there is a pain. But what to do? I have to go for work and I am doing my work, office work. I'm doing my work, I'm talking with people, and I'm doing all my transactions and communications. But from the in the corner of the mind will be aware that I've got a toothache. So similarly, consciously you go on repeated, you go on thought over about I am Sakshi, I am Sakshi, I am Sakshi, so much so that it creates such a impression on your mind, even once you stop thinking that I am Sakshi, and no thoughts are there. You are not thinking anything, but still as an undercurrent, which is called Akandakara Vritti in the Vedanta, that I am the Sakshi will be coming in your mind. So this is what the author is trying to explain in this particular sloka. So there, in the particular earlier two steps, consciously I practiced that I am the Sakshi thought. The second, consciously I contemplated on different aspects of Sakshi. I am Asanga, I am Nitya, I am what you say, Sanatana, I am Achala, I am Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Sarupa, and all these things. Now, I am not making any conscious effort. Mind has become completely calm, but only single thought in a what you say in a dormant way is going on. What is that? That Akanda Karvrutti, I am the Sakshi. Here, I am the Sakshi is also a sort of an experience based on conviction and the experience. That's why he's giving an example. When there is no wind, if there is a lamp kept, then it doesn't flicker, it doesn't get disturbed because there is no disturbance of wind or any other external things. So similarly, even there in the earlier types of meditation, there can be small disturbances, but here there is no disturbance, completely silent. Completely silent means what? Willfully, I am not practicing, I am not encouraging any thought, I am not thinking anything, I am keeping quiet. Only there is a unconsciously or in a subtle way or in a subconscious level, as a thought is going on. What is that thought? I am the Sakshi. So this is what called Akandakara Vritti. This is a Sukshma Akandakara Vritti. When this comes, according to the Vedanta, then my ignorance will be destroyed. Then I will have the experience of myself completely. For example, now I have got a beautiful sunlight. Suddenly, a thick patch of cloud came. Then I will not be able to get the same amount of sunlight. Then after half an hour, 1 hour, the cloud passed, then again I am able to get the complete sunlight. So similarly, I am self-luminous, no doubt, but a thick veil of ignorance was covering it. Then by thinking time and again, I am that Sakshi, the thick veil of ignorance has been removed. When this Akandakara Vritti comes when it starts happening in us, the Vedantins say that in frag, what do you say, in just a moment or in a second or just very nearly, you will get that self realization. Means the ignorance will be completely destroyed. The conviction and the experience both will be very firm and it will be complete. So that is what here Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So here basically there is no conscious effort, there is no willful effort, and there are no many so many thoughts and all nothing. So mind is completely calm, quiet, but only one single thought is going, that too in a small, in a subconscious way, in a dormant way, that I am that Brahman, or I am that self, I am that Sakshi, I am that Sakshi, I am that Sakshi. So this is what Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So that's why the word of caution is the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which is explained in Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Patanjali, and the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which has been described or discussed in the Drishya Viveka, in the Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, it is totally different. In the Patanjali Nirvikalpa Samadhi, there no thought should be there. Because Chittavritti Nirodha, complete cessation of the thoughts. All thoughts should be arrested and no thought should be there. Not even a single thought. It should be completely arrested. But here, according to Advaita Vedanta, that is not possible and we don't desire also. Because any experience, we need thought. That's why the Advaita Vedanta says, even in the deep sleep, we have got a thought. We have got an experience. Why? Because I don't know anything. I am not aware of anything. That awareness of unawareness, that thought is going on in a dormant way or in a very feeble way. That's why when I get up, I'm able to say that I was not aware of anything. I was not aware of the people who came and went. I was not aware of the situations or the whole world. So similarly, according to the Advaita Vedantins, even in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, a thought will be going on in a feeble way, in a dormant way, that I am the Sakshi, I am the Sakshi, I am the Sakshi. That's why when someone comes from Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he will be able to explain that I experienced that I am the Sakshi, I am that Satchidananda or whatever. So this is the fundamental technical difference between Patanjali Yoga and the Advaita Vedanta. So when the moment when we say Nirvikalpa Samadhi, we should not compare with the Patanjali Yoga Sutra and we should not get confused. So this is a word of caution. We should keep it in mind. So probably in my next class, I will try to explain a little more about Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and we will try to discuss other three type of contemplation techniques in the next coming class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishnarpanamastu.